Hello everyone, this is Dr. Ellie Park from Eternaclinic in Seoul. Today I want to talk about the interesting star, which is Damon. I've met him when I was in high school. I went to a high school named Hotchkiss, and then I went to Johns Hopkins after that. And he came as one of the lecturers because he used to know one of my teachers there. And he gave out the interesting lecture, and he looked very sincere and very realistic, and everybody really liked him. I mean, a lot of people were his fan anyway because he's a great movie star. And I think he's living a good life now as a person and as a star. So today I want to talk about his face as an example of the good life, a very balanced life that I'm aiming for. So when you look at his youth, his picture in the prime time, you could see that there's a slight asymmetry there. So, I always draw this line, and the first 1/3 represent the 1/3 of your life, which is childhood, and there's second part, which is your midlife, and the end is your when seniority, when you grow very old. You could see that his forehead is very well showing, and it's very protruded, which means that he's gonna have a good life. He had a good childhood, and he also has an influence on his overall life. And when you look at his mid face, you could see that the mid face is very well balanced, and his cheek is very protruded, and he has a very high nose, and very handsome nose too. And when you look at the last 1/3 of it, you could see that his jawline is very stable, and you could see that it's very masculine at the same time. So when you look at his face, you could see that his face is in a good proportion. At the same time, his bone structure is very stable, and you could see that it's very well built, and everything is in a good portion, right? So when I sort of flip it, so this is what he looks like now, and he still looks good. He still has those good qualities from his youth. And when you still have a very stable mid part, And when you look at my other video, you could hear me saying about the mid face, the importance of mid face. And the mid face lifting is very hot in Korea, because in Korea, looking like a young person, making yourself look younger, it's a huge issue. It's like a huge thing that people are very interested in. So obviously they look for the qualities that will make people look young. And the mid-face lifting seems like the best way to make those changes, to make a person look very young. I mean, there are other things you could do, but I think this is like 1/2 of the whole thing. So when you look at his face, it still looks very grounded, and you don't really see much of a hollowness. There's no sagging. And the stable mid-face is often associated with, the trustworthiness and very, person being very grounded and very stable. So you could see that. I mean, that's the image that Matt Damon has, right? If the person actually did a lot, like putting an excessive volume of filler, it would actually destroy the balance. I might recommend the person to do like a lifting, like maybe because Matt Damon has a lot of collagen on his face, I might recommend like Othera or Thermage. And if the person wants a bit more, maybe collagen booster or threads to sort of assist the boosting, the front cheek. But I wouldn't recommend a lot, because it's not about the volume, it's more about the proportion. And the second thing I want to point out is that, Matt Damon has a very, very charming, I would say it's a very charming and very masculine jawline. In this case, like, people do all kinds of things. I think they use like a radius, and they use a filler to make the jawline very excessive, especially if you're male. And if you're in the Western world, I think that some guys are very into it. If you actually do that, it could actually show a bit aggression. I mean, too much masculinity, I don't think too much is not always good, right? And I mean, if you look at other points, like if you look at the other way, if you actually do like excessive contouring, or if you put too much Botox on the jawline, I mean, I also think that that's not good, because in Korea, having a V line was very big. And sometimes when the patients ask me to do that, and if that doesn't fit into their face, I did not recommend that to that person. So in this case, you know, in Matt Damon's case, he has a very relaxed jawline, and this represents the leadership and stability, and at the same time the trustworthiness. I think that's why he has a lot of fans who likes his acting, and he often has a role like that in his movie. So if the person like the Matt Damon actually came into my office, I would tell the person not to overdo it, because the role of the aesthetic medicine is actually boosting someone's strength and refining them, not to overwrite their face. And especially in the Matt Damon case, you know, you could feel that his face has a lot of strength. So when you look at the Matt Damon's face, there are two things I want to point out. So one is that the balance ages better than perfection. So your face doesn't have to be perfect. There's no such a thing as perfection. If you have, I mean, I think it's always important for the doctor to recommend something that would fit into a person's face, rather than going after what's trending, because that's definitely not right. It's not our job to do that. The second part that I want to point out is that when you actually do it right, doing less is actually more than doing more. So you need the right kind of advice when you search for a doctor who's actually doing the aesthetic medicine. And I could assure you that, you know, I'm the best person for that. So I hope you enjoy our video, and when you get a chance, please visit Eternaclinic in Seoul. Thank you so much.